Good morning everybody, It is now Tuesday and we are getting the car painted. Well, we actually need to set off tomorrow night, so this needs to be done today. Now the last couple of drift days, now when the weather's been hot, we've been having a lot of issues, and we've always had this issue with the Mustang. We've had a lot of issues with heat soak. The engine bay just gets super hot, and then it just makes the car sluggish after like 2 or 3 laps. Now part of that is because of what I've been realising so far. The fan hasn't been working, the little fuse for the fan's broke, so we have been hardwiring the fan to the battery, and we need to do a more permanent solution for that. We need to put on a switch and stuff, so we still need to do that. Now that has helped, but it's still not fully alleviated the problem. So we're doing a thing today. We're actually going to do 2 things. One, we're going to make the car look cooler, and we're going to make it more functional. Now, the car's actually getting painted, and I've always been annoyed that we've not had the roof scoop. If you have realised, Mustangs come with like a bonnet scoop. They all come with a bonnet scoop. Now, a lot of them, if it's not a supercharged one, they aren't functional, but they still come with a bonnet scoop, and they still look cool. Now mine apparently flew off on the motorway before I owned the car, and I've been trying to find a bonnet scoop, and you just can't buy them anywhere. There's one company in America that sell them, but they don't do international shipping. So it's been one of those. It just looks stupid, that bonnet scoop. There's a load of holes in the bonnet, and since we're getting the car painted, it's just going to look silly. So we've come up with a solution. We have ordered a big hood vent. I'm just being a bit quiet because the car's over here, because we're ready to get the trailer and we're ready to get going tomorrow night really. So we're gonna have to do this over here. I've ordered this. Now this is mainly for Jap cars. I'm not gonna lie, it is. It's a bit of a Jap bonnet, but I think it's gonna look good on the Mustang. We'll look at it. It is gonna look good, and when it's painted, it's gonna look sick, and it's gonna be functional. Right now it's not functional because the hood vents don't hood vent anything. They need to be cut out, but we can do that. Ideally just want a Dremel. The main thing is just getting this on the car ready, as we're going to be painting it this weekend. So we're going to be installing this bonnet vent today. Now it does stick up a little bit, and it's not perfectly made for this bonnet with the shape. It's made for a flat bonnet, and this bonnet has, again, the bit of the intake there for the original hood scoop. You see where the bolts go. But I think this is going to work. It's not going to look amazingly perfect because we're going to have this bit down here, but I don't care because it's a drift car and I need it to be functional, and it's going to look better than it was. Now it doesn't sit flat at the minute because if you can see, the vents actually come down, and the vents are actually touching the bonnet, so it's not going to be flat at the minute. So we need to cut a hole in the bonnet. So we're going to cut a massive hole in the bonnet, and we're going to attempt, I'm a bit worried because I'm not good at stuff like this, but we're going to give our best attempt to fit this bonnet scoop to make it look cool for paint, and to get rid of a lot of the heat soak which accumulates in this big V8 engine bay. So it is quite early in the morning. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, so I don't want to be grinding and waking everybody up now, but we got up early because we're going to start doing some prep work. So we're going to clean the bonnet off, and we're going to I'm going to try to masking tape everything just to make the cut a little bit cleaner. We need to do a lot of measuring because we need to measure this quite well, because we need to come past the vents so the vents can actually sit under the bonnet, because right now they're just touching the bonnet, as you can see under there. So we need to come around there, but we also need a wide enough bit to actually use this side bit to put rivets on, and the back of it flares up. I'm not sure why it does that. It's quite annoying because it's going to be quite hard to make that flat. So we might just cut that bit off, to be fair, because I don't know why it does that, because it's not that, for fiberglass it's not that flexible either. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut it, put it in, seal it down so water doesn't get through there. We're going to put some sealant around, and then we're going to rivet it. We're going to drill and rivet it. I'm terrible at shit like this, but let's just give it a go. Right, here we are, people. B&Q. Not my first choice of things to get things from. Wait, what? Yeah. But what I've looked, this has the most suitable option. Now, when you're going to B&Q, people, B&Q like to mug you off. They like to make it look like they've got it in stock, and then you get there and they don't even stock it in store. So make sure every single product you see on B&Q's website, make sure you go on the website, put your postcode in and see if they've got stock, because I'd say 80% of the items in stock on the website are online only, and it's not obvious until you like go to check out. So I've looked, the things I need, they say they've got them in stock, so fucking better. Mainly one being a rivet gun. Okay, so we've got everything. We've got some sealant, we've got some pens to write on the masking tape, and we have a rivet gun with some rivets, and we have a hex key bit. That's so I can finally put the bloody door card or the door handle back on the X5, because it's like a thin entry bolt, so I need some thin ones, and I've lost my other one. So annoying. Let's get home. Okay, so what we've got to do is we've got to basically drill out a hole around the actual vents here. So the bottom vent is going to be, it's the whole thing is basically 30.7. Is it the whole width across? No, it's bigger at the top. So it does get bigger at the top, and the vents get bigger. So the vents here are pretty much, if we go there to there, let's say 29 and a half. And the vent bit at the bottom here, it's like 26. So we need to cut out a square that's at the bottom. 20, let's just say 25. Yeah. And at the top, let's say 29 and a half. And then we've got the masking tape on here. So at the bottom, obviously we've got to get it central. It's going to be 25, it's going to be like that. So we're going to put a line there once we find the middle. And at the top, 29 and a half. Do a straight line with the pen, and that's where we're going to cut. Scary times. So let's just find the actual middle of the bonnet, and let's make sure we get it as central as possible. Okay, so I've got the measurements here. This is straight down the middle of the car, that line. So what I've done is I've measured the top, which was 76 millimeters, divided it by 2, 38. So I've put 38 on the middle of that line there, and then marked and marked. That's the top. And then the bottom one was, I believe, something like 65. So I halved it. Then we've got mark 1 and mark 1. So now we can draw 2 lines, that line to that line, that line to that line, that line to that line. But that's whereabout it's going to go. I might put it higher or lower. I didn't think about that. Before we start cutting, I'm going to put something underneath on top of the engine. So I've just poured a load of water over this cardboard. I'll let that sink in, just so it's, you know, doesn't become like flammable or anything, or don't catch any, so we don't set the bloody thing on fire. It's wet cardboard, won't set alight, guys, so we're going to just wet that, keep that nice and wet, and then we'll put that underneath. We've got some damp cardboard there as a protection. Right, I'm happy with that. Got a lot of lift. Fucking hell. Let's just send it. Cutting through it really easy. I brought the line back a couple of inches just because I'd rather cut off less than more, and this top line was getting a little bit close to the end. So if I do want to cut off any bit of that flange bit, I won't be able to if I get it there. So I've just done it to this bottom line here. It's definitely not metal. I don't know if that's just the hood though. The hood bit, because it's definitely not metal. Look at all this shit. I think it's fiberglass. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. We might not actually have to take the structural bit out, to be honest, because there is a bit of structural metal there. I'm not sure whether to keep it or not. I might have to just cut this bit off. Yeah, it's definitely fiberglass. Look at that. Didn't know that. I know, we're going to have to, because if you think about it, the vent's not got anywhere to sit in. Do you know what I was saying before, where the vents needs to sit in, because they're almost like raised. So I think if I do the same thing now, it's just going to be sitting on top and we're going to be miles off. It's better, but we're still hitting. Yeah, the vents need to sit in more. The middle bit's okay, but the vents are hitting. Yeah, we're going to have to take that metal out. Mate, this is fiberglass too. Nothing's metal. can see that sits much flatter now, so it's going to sit like that. And what we can do is we can actually Dremel out these pieces when it's on the car. That's probably the easiest thing to do. So let's just worry about getting it painted, getting it fit, and then we can Dremel out these bits after. So we'll get a little Dremel in, we'll just go, and then we have a vent which vents. Hey guys, I've said f it, and I'm giving the vents a go myself. I've done a line here. The hardest thing is going to be I ideally need a small one to get the end, but I might be able to do it, but we're giving it a go. Why not? Why not? Oh, f me, this is going to be difficult. Oh, I don't know. What I might do is, let's just cut this down the middle. Does that work? I mean, it's better than nothing, isn't it? But I mean, at least it is venting now. I mean, it's not clean, but I can clean that up at a later date. That side's a lot cleaner. Yeah, that side's a lot cleaner. So I just took a little bit of a break to try to get this BMW door working, and oh my god, it was a nightmare. I've had to fab everything. I've had to grind this down, grind a bit of the door down. It's not ideal. So I mean, I've got it on, but it's still not opening, so I need to figure out what the hell's going on. But what I've done is, bits where I've gone over, see I've cut and I've gone over a little bit, like there and there, I've actually smoothed it out and made it look like this. So I've kind of just smoothed it and done a line. So doing that, I'll do this side. So just get the grinder and just smooth the edge off. Like that. I won't be able to get these bits down here, but I'll be able to do that later on with a Dremel. Right, we've got it lined up to pretty much where it needs to be. Got it straight there, and I've got it where I want it. So we're going to do these bottom two corners first. So we're going to just push them down and do these bottom two. So I'm just going to drill 2 holes at the size of the rivet we want. So this drill bit is going to be the size of this rivet, and then we're just going to drill a hole. We're not going to rivet on yet, so we want to do some sealing. We just want to make sure we've got the holes in place. So let's just send it. Going to go right on the corner. Right, I'm going to do a layer of sealant just around there before the bolt holes. Here it comes. And this is just going to stop. Obviously I'm aware water's going to get through the vents, but this will just stop it like pooling and like dripping through constantly, you know. Right, now let's start riveting. Just put the rivet in here, push it through, and sometimes you might have to pump, but it should. That's 1, 2, and this is where we see how flexible it is. I don't know if it's to do the top one or these two. I think I'm just going to go up. So let's do this one. I've put a lot of rivets in there. The issue is because the bonnet's not flat, and I'm having to rivet the shit out of it to make it look flat. I could probably still put some more in, but this is where I'm at. Boom! It actually looks okay, I'm not gonna lie. It looks silly because it's white, but obviously when it's painted it's gonna blend in, and I actually have got it pretty straight considering. So let's have a look underneath. That's all the vent we've got. She's good vintage. It's pretty straight to me as well, which looks good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this off and put it down and see what it looks like with the bonnet down. Obviously it's on the trailer, so it's gonna be behind the air. It's not got the front bumper on. It's gonna look a bit incomplete, but we should get a good kind of sense of what it's gonna look like, and also, you know, where the water's gonna be going. Bit of an issue, but if it's just parked up, we'll just put a bit of plastic underneath it or something. Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell because it's on the. I mean, yeah, when it's gonna look sick when it's all painted. It's not the flattest thing in the world, but the main thing is
is functional, and it's going to get a lot of that engine bay temp out, which is going to be great. I've got one more to cut here, but that's a bit finicky, that one, because it's quite small, so I'm going to wait till I've got the Dremel, but that's going to get a lot of the engine bay temperature out, which is going to be great news. And the good thing is it's not over any electrics, which is even better. I was worried about it going all over the coal packs and the spark plugs and stuff, but it's actually not touching that. It's more in front of the radiator and the alternator and all like that. So we're actually not even going to guess. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to get a lot of that engine bay temp out, and I cannot wait. So now we've got the fan pushing it out, and it's going to have somewhere to escape as well. Sweet. Again, I spent another 45 minutes or so on this BMW. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to need one of the inner carrier things. This is just ruined. It's just and I think it's a different one. It's just that I've had to that's just wrong. I think the cable's stretched inside as well, so I've ordered a new one of them. It was like £8 off eBay, and I've had to order another handle because I've ruined another handle around, because these are just the worst designed shit ever. So I've ordered more of them. Honestly, I'm gonna have to order another window switch because I've took this apart and there's no way you can change that button. Oh well, I've got this done. That's the main thing. I'm buzzing to get this painted. We're going down tomorrow night. I'm going to end the video here because I'm going to get super stressed out in a minute. And I think I'm going to go and sit down in the garden and enjoy a little bit of relax. And I'm probably going to go for a drink tonight. I love you all. Does look pretty good. Will do when it's painted anyway. Love you all. See you in the next one.